Looks like everything's good. That's alright. There we go. Okay. I think we can get started now. Oops. It look like I'm sitting on a hill. I want that thing sideways. Okay. So, last time I worked on this thing, I finished up the skill trainer, which was in the RPG. In the RPGs, basically the ability to specialize your skills effectively if you're using it to its utmost, most powerful position. Um, Finished the combat trainer, which was pretty basic, but required me to program an entirely different minigame, the kind of minigame system. Basically, the ability to have combat so that you can do combat training drills. So I had to actually make the combat first, then make the drills, then make the class duel system, which was built on top of that. So that took a long time. And then basically the skill trainer was almost the same thing in a lot of respects, but in different respects does something else. That doesn't explain anything. Okay, so basically what I had the skill trainer doing was essentially giving you bonuses in experience points and all that other stuff, but it's what it's supposed to do when you level up your character is your skill points are basically capped out at your level, and what the skill trainer is supposed to do is allow you to have the cap be at the skill trainer's level. So if you want to get really good at a skill and stack up beyond your normal limits, the really expensive way, you can, as long as you can find somebody who has gotten up to that skill level that you're looking for. So if you're level 5 and you want to have something go up 5 more points beyond your normal limits, if you've got a trainer who's at least level 10 in the skill that you want, then you can put your skill points, your 5 skill points you get whenever you level up, into all of one skill. Now the downside is you'll lose everything else you could possibly get with those points, but the point is that you're allowed to specialize to do what you want. You have your character the way you want, and it's in a way where it creates value for another player, right? Other than just being a possible teammate in a battle or something. That, you know, they could have really high skill in this one skill that everyone likes and train everybody, and then they kind of benefit from that because every time somebody levels up under their tutelage, they get paid. Well, they get paid, their character gets paid in the game. So it's a way of generating money that way. So, you know, hopefully that'll work out. Otherwise, I'm going to add some modifiers. But in any case, I now have to figure this out. So, the treasurer. Essentially what the treasurer is supposed to be is this person who invests their own money in exchange for potentially a profit, and if they do well, they can get credit that they can invest proportionate to the amount of money that they invest. So, for example, it's kind of like a stock market, kind of. I mean, I won't say it's exactly like a stock market because I'm not a financial expert, so I couldn't even begin to boil that down. But basically, it's like I invest 100 gold coins into an adventurer's trip to go into a dungeon, per se. You don't actually have to be part of the group that goes there, but you'll give them like $100. And essentially what it does is it allows you to get up to 120% of your return. So I happen to give 100 coins, so I would get 120 upon their return. Now these guys might find some rare magical artifacts in a China treasure or whatever, but that's all theirs. But the idea essentially is that you give them money so they can buy all the stuff that they need to go on their trips and get whatever they need, and in exchange you get a share of the loot, kind of. But not like a literal share, because that would be a little much. Like, we're not trying to cut anyone's throat here. Like, the treasurer basically is allowed to make a profit, but if somebody in that freaking party finds, like, this huge amount of freaking treasure, it's kind of a disproportionate reward to the manager to get a cut of that. Now, they could have an agreement outside of the official rules that they give a cut. Hey, Berserk, how's it going? Everything working good? So they can get a cut based on that, but if on the official rules, it's not like you automatically surrender 5% of like this huge haul you got. No, the haul is yours. If you accept $100, you are obligated to pay that back plus 20% interest flat. And maybe I might add more options there later. Seems to be? Oh, that's good. I'm glad to see that. It seems like I can read the chat pretty good. I hope that I'm responding fairly quickly as well. I don't know what the delay is like, because it's technically being rebounded through a couple of different things. I'm just talking about the treasurer right now. So. Okay, so on top of the profits, it's also about losses. Now, the downside is if a venture, if a delve into a dungeon is a total failure, part of being a treasury manager is that your losses are insured somewhat. You're insured, I think, up to 80% of your losses, of your own money, right? So if you invest 100 coins of your own money and it's a total loss and they lose everything, you get 80 back. You don't get all of it back, you get 80 back. It's proportionate, right? So, you know, it's not like bad to invest in something that probably won't, like if you invest 100 coins of your own money into something that's probably not going to work out, we think there might be like the risk is very mitigated. But in the meantime, your money is still gone. Like, they still need all of the 100 coins. Like, it's not like, oh, I sponsor this one, and I could give them 20 coins, and then if they get back and they lose everything, they get nothing, and if they do good, then I get 40 coins back or whatever. Because, I mean, that's... No, it's just... They need all 100 coins. Then those coins have to come from somewhere. So invest your own money, potentially get a profit, and every time you get a profit from the successful mission, you get this thing called credits. From this, like, treasury credits. You can't spend treasury credits directly like money. Well, you can, but only in a certain way. So, for example, if I invest 100 coins into a mission, where the guy goes into the party or whatever, goes into the dungeon, and I get a full 20% back, then I get 20 credits that I can invest in the next mission that doesn't have to come out of my own pocket. The only catch is you're only allowed to invest as much credit as you invest your own money. So, let's say I do successfully, and I put 100 coins in, and I get 120 back. Well, now I've got my original 100 coins, I got my 20 coins profit, and I've got 20 coins of credit. And let's just say I want to invest all that back in again. So I can invest all 120 coins into the next mission, and also I can invest up to 240 credits, but I've only got 20. So I'll invest the other 20. And the payouts kind of remain the same, except that before you get your profits, you have to pay back all the credit you borrowed from the treasury, but you get the interest from it. So if there's a successful mission, 20% of 20 is like 4 coins, which isn't a lot, but it's free. So, you know, you get that 4 coins for free. You get all of the profit. You don't get to, you know, whatever, right? But it also does increase your risk a little bit. Effectively, all math, you know, simplified down to its basic whatevers, assuming that I'm not like a total idiot, you could get, because of the way that it works, is you would get the money you have insured, then I think it's you basically pay back all of the money out of the money you would normally get back to whatever you borrowed. And I think any money that you don't pay back is lost out of your credits. So essentially, any point where the mission is so much of a failure that you still owe money afterwards, we just remove credits from you, and you have to re-earn them. So I mean, you know, you can invest the union's money over and over and over again, but it's not like free money and then we'll just give you back we'll pay you for your losses and we'll allow you a cut of the winnings and all this other stuff, and there's just no limits and stuff like that. It's like, no, you borrow money, you pay it back first. Not allowed to write it off, not allowed to hide it, or whatever the heck it is. The money that comes out of that mission goes to the union. They determine what happens. If $0 comes back, Then they find out what you personally invested, give you 80% of that, then they minus what you owe out of that. So I guess the best way of investing is, if you think a mission is going to go well, invest extra credits to get profits. If you think a mission is going to go poorly, just only invest your own money. And essentially, it allows you to make more money. It allows the Heroes Union to invest more heavily into missions, but it uses the expertise of the Treasury Manager to not blindly invest into a bunch of failing missions over and over again, while the manager makes bonuses and stuff like that. That would be stupid. That's the way it works in real life, but that's not the way it works here. That doesn't make any sense. So we're not doing it that way. Okay. So, let's get started with the damn programming already. Let's see here. Confirm or decline. There is no more confirming or declining. There is no training or untraining. There is no trainees. There's no spell phrases or anything like that. Just commands. Are you keeping all the functions as data, or are you going to rename some of them well, to put them together, I am going to just keep them all named. Are you going to keep all the functions as data? You mean, like, am I going to, like, translate it into binary and stuff? I mean, when it's done, yeah, probably. Just because it makes it, you know, I think it allows it to run on systems without the system getting upset. Because it's like, this is a executable. Oh, it might be a virus. It's like, no, it's not. It's not a virus. If it was, I would be killing my own computer, and that would be dumb. And I mean, people are dumb when it comes to programming sometimes, like... But, especially when it comes to Windows. As broken as Windows is. Haha, no, Windows is totally broken. Function data. Oh, you mean this stuff. This is just something I put generically because I just put it something... Like, I would probably name it something more specific later. But right now, I just put something whatever because it could be anything. Until I decide later what it is. It's usually an object... Like I should say, it's usually a dictionary with the definitions and stuff that I look for. For example, when I send information from a job class back to, like, the, you know, the handler for sending messages and stuff like that, like there's a key on there that's messages, and if I want to label it as, oh, there's a level up, then I just put the key level up equals true, and then that way it'll know to check for those different keys, and then send that information back to the appropriate section stuff. Yeah, so templates. Yeah, I basically copied and pasted a lot of this stuff, and I make it more specific later. Like, for example, in the Scholastic Trainer, it's more specific. Like, there's some generic stuff. Like, data is usually the person's chat data, and that's just from chat. I put from chat because at some point in the future, I'm going to make it so that something else can modify this. Ideally, in the ideal world, I'll be being able to do whatever the hell I want. It would be a phone app. That's how you would, or a website that you go to on your phone and then get information from that. So essentially, it allows me to just put in like a translator. Now, I mean, I suppose I could make it so that I put the translator way at the beginning for all inputs. But that's later. Nice. Yeah. But it gets more specific later as I need. And I do when I go over the stuff, and I haven't optimized it. I haven't gone through and deleted a bunch of stuff. Like, you can still see, like, there's a lot of stuff in here that doesn't need to be, like, it just gets repeated. But that's just to get it done and out of the way, because I haven't figured out exactly how I want to do it. I just haven't decided yet. I'm just like, well, I could figure that out, hum and haw, and put some time into it, but I'm like, yeah, screw it. I'm gonna work on the next class and get some actual, like, you can see the work done, kind of get it done, you know? Okay, let's see here. Invest command, credit command, gift command, and check command. I'm hoping this will be simple, because it's just math. There's no leveling up involved. Well, there's no real leveling up involved. There's no working with other players, technically. Technically, the only thing you're working with are the individual missions that are available in the Heroes Union to invest in. Repeated code can just be put in its own function and called to... Exactly. Like, I ended up replacing a lot of stuff in, where is it? Not skill. Combat. Where are you? Here you are. The War Trainer is how it was originally called. But I'm like, nah, it doesn't have to be war. It can just be combat, because it is just basically combat. I basically replaced a lot of stuff where I was just referring directly to whatever and just made it its own function, like game data, the name of the hero's data, this, that, and the other thing. And I could, you know, and I used to have it where it would just go into the dictionary, down the definitions or whatever, and then I just replaced it with a function of trainees of the name, requested trainees of the name, max trainees of the name, and then it just makes more sense. So when I go down here, I'm reading if user of in trainees of modifier or user in requested trainees of modifier, and it just reads like English and it makes more sense. The one thing that is currently bugging me though is this dictionary that I use for sending responses back to whether or not code is functional, whether it catches a certain error, whether there's information that's missing, or whether or not it's just a funny message, because I like lots of those. It is a game after all. Hey, how's it going? Oh, your name is Ryder Green now. Put in, not that I'm not making reference to that take. No, I didn't think so. That was like the last thing I think of. I'm like, no way. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, like arranging this stuff to like just import like the functions that I need and whatever, and organizing it made it so much better. Instead of having to like plunk everything through awkwardly with a function and then have it such that if I forget to plunk a certain data in a certain spot, that it doesn't make its way down all the way and it just ends up breaking. Here it's like, no, just do it like this one line, and then you can reference the function as much as you want. As long as it's got the right information that it needs, it will work, and if it doesn't have the right information, it'll probably just do nothing. How's it going, Ryder? Hi. How are you? What's going on? Okay, I know all of these are broken because essentially every single job, when you fire a command, is supposed to return something. Right now it's returning null. So, first things first. Response equals empty dictionary. Response. Messages. Nothing. Well, technically, I could just put, this is a check command. And then just do, oh right, almost forgot. Response valid. Because sometimes I'll make it go through all these checks and stuff, and then if it just doesn't have a valid response and I don't want it to spit out anything else, I'll say that it's equal to false. Because then it will skip wherever it is and just go down the list to check something else. Like instead of checking a job to see if the information I put in is related to that, it'll check messages, like the inbox system or whatever. Always good to check them? Yeah. Always. So. Copy. I'm just going to put all this stuff here in the first test I'm going to do. And this runs on Twitch, so you guys aren't going to see that in YouTube. But I can't stream to YouTube while I'm streaming to anywhere else. But I can stream elsewhere, as long as they don't stream just to Twitch. A credit command. Maybe I'll meet some new folks. I met this other fine person who was like all interested about the RPG itself, which I thought was pretty cool. It's nice to be able to talk about it. This is a gift command. And I just want to check to make sure all of these functions actually fire. To make sure that they're going through where they're supposed to. I mean, they should, in theory. But until you test it, it doesn't mean a dang thing. Don't mean a dang thing. Okay, everything seems to be running okay. So if I go no. We're gonna go to here. And we're gonna go to join, oh, come on. Join treasury. And then I'll get my response and I'll say confirm. I'm now treasury manager, junior investment analyst, first degree. Job, question mark job. My commands are check, invest, credit, and gift. I go check. An error happens. Perfect. Check command takes one positional argument, but 3 were given. Oh, right! I remember. This is like the other kind of thing that I gotta fix. Is I need to make it so that these things don't have to take the same three inputs all the time, but they are the basic ones. For example, where is it? I have to optimize this, but I'll optimize it later. I've been optimizing a lot, and then I'll switch back to, like, making stuff, and then I'll switch to optimizing. But since the skill trainer went so smoothly, I might be able to get more stuff done sooner. Add to election. That's another thing I gotta fix. Fix the elections. No. Confirm. Yeah, here it is. Chat input. Decision data. Oh, wait, no, this is for, like, confirming or declining, which doesn't happen, technically, in this class yet. In fact, if I want to make it so you take money out that you've invested, assuming the mission hasn't already left, I'll just have you put a negative number. So you can put, like, 100. Oh, that's 100, but that's too much. So you just minus 50 or whatever, and then it just adjusts it for you. And that would make the most sense and be the simplest solution. Where is it here? Chat input. And I believe it is... Here it is. It's data, which is the chat data. Game data, which I don't think... Technically, I don't even think I need game data anymore. And then true, because it's coming from, like, a chat source. I'm probably going to end up erasing that, because I have a function already in another thing here, which basically will return all that for me. Like, the game data from union jobs and all that stuff. New data just means that, you know, gives you new data. So if I need a person to have a save file that has job information on it and it doesn't exist, it just makes it. Otherwise, it just returns whatever they have, right? Or just straight up the data here. So I need to go to... Yeah, chat data, game data, and from chat. Which will be all chat data. Technically, it shouldn't really need anything more than maybe chat data. One day it won't need anything more than chat data, because within that one variable that I plug in there, I could, like, have the label of where it's from, or just straight up format it before it even gets to that point, so it always has the same data. But for now, we're not going to worry about that. I can make that change later. Close you, because you're not doing anything. Save that. That should be it. Okay, we're good. Loading up. Check. This is a check command. Good. Invest. This is an invest command. Good. Credit. This is an credit command. And gift. This is a gift command. Excellent. Perfect. Perfect. Works perfectly. Let's see here. That's a good starting point. Okay, let me think here. What the check command is supposed to do is basically give you a rundown on the different missions that are available and very brief information about each one. But I gotta think about how to design this, because there's an unknown number of missions. It's like I can't just have it spit out the name of every mission, because if somehow there's 99 missions, it's gonna be an impossible to read wall of text. So I gotta think about how I want to get the list that I'm looking for with as little input as possible. The simple solution would just be to make it so that every time a mission is created, it just picks treasury managers that are allowed to do it, but at the same time, that still doesn't fix the issue. Right now, we've got one treasury manager, and if all 99 missions go to her, still unreadable wall of text. So the only thing I could think of, ouch, is I might have to create another function. Here's the thing. Let's say I have each manager going in up to 5, having up to 5 missions, right? The easiest way to do that would literally be when you do a check command to say that there are X number of missions available, so it's a number. So if there's 99 missions, it just says 99. If there's 1, it just says 1. It like 2 digits versus 1 digit, right? Unless it goes into 3 digits. Oh, then 4 digits and 5. But it's still not a wall of text unless you have like a quintillion. But even then, it's... If I had a quintillion missions, I think we would have a completely different situation. So I find that situation highly unlikely, those circumstances. So, maybe what I'll do is... If I do a check command, what it should do is list the current number of active missions. Then it should list the... Each mission starts off with a randomly generated code, because each mission is effectively randomly generated. I have to figure out how I'm going to do that, but one thing I definitely know is that the names are going to be a bunch of scrambled letters and digits, because realistically speaking, there is no way for me to make a total randomizer for names for things that makes sense after a while. The only thing that I would make sense is if it was like just a unique code of 5 or 6 digits, either letters or numbers, and then I would have like, was it 26 letters of the alphabet plus like 10 number characters, so like 36 times 36 times 36 times 36 times 36 times 36, or whatever the heck number of digits, possible combinations, which makes more sense. And then when missions close out, I can make those old numbers new again, because you don't keep the missions that you have permanently. And you could rename them too, if you're the guy or girl or whoever who's in charge of that mission. You could name it something, but that's different. That's a different kind of job, coming up with a number or a unique 6 or 7 digit code. Probably 7 would be the max. I was told that people can remember up to 7 things at once in a row easily, which is why phone numbers go up to about 7. Although that's going to be changing, since we use phones that like remember everything now. It's like we don't even need to remember phone numbers anymore. In fact, the only number I remember is my dad's phone number. It's just because of how many forms I filled out about who to call in case of emergency. Back when I was working on construction, it's like, which number do we call? Well, definitely don't call my number, because I probably won't be able to answer if I'm unconscious. So, but I don't want to have too many commands. Much as I hate to say it, I think when you get a mission as a treasury manager, you're just going to have it be random. You know? You're just going to have it be random. Because if I have, let's say, 5 missions going on, I can list 5 things with 7 digits in it. It's 5 times 7 is 35. So that's a bit of text, but it's not an impossible amount to display once. So, next for possible. So I think what checking is going to have to do check ID. Is going to have to go, let's see here. And I am going to have to figure out how to put... I'm going to have to hard code some missions to invest in that are fake and empty. So I think the first thing I'm probably going to do is go to... It's going to happen in union jobs, because the jobs thing is where this is going to happen anyway. Union staff or whatever. We're going to go create fake missions. And then create fake missions. Let's see here, and I'm gonna create like a bunch of different ones just to kind of simulate. Let's see here, for mission in, I don't know, range 0 to 30. And then we're gonna go, let's take a look. Let's see here. How do we come up with random, like totally random letters and stuff like that? The random string generation with uppercase digits. Well, no, they're all going to be lowercase. Because I don't want to make it so that people get the freaking case wrong. It should all be lowercase. Let's see here. Random string, random code answers. Generate random characters in Python. Random, import string. ASCII letters. Wait, so letters and digits. ASCII string.ASCII letters plus string.digits. Result join for I range blah blah blah. Random letters generator Python. Oh, there's like 3 different ways I'm looking at this. There's like import string and import random. And there's like from random import rand int. Let's go. Let's go. Let's put that here for now. Might as well. Big mission name. Turn. Oops. Turn. Join. Character. And int. Anywhere from apparently 33 to 126. Oops. 2 of those. 4. I in range. Oh, range number of characters. Oh, I get it. Let's say 7. Oh, that's right. It's being lazy. Make mission name. Flip down. Oh! What? No! Can you... Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Ah, so rude. Ew. Anyway. Illegal. I really am glad that you're here. There we go. Okay, good. And apparently I blocked it on Restream chat as well. Whatever. It's fine. Okay. So, anyways, running the program, what should happen is I should see 30 lines of random code and not an error. Okay, good. Wow. I need to, like, remove special characters, though, because that's going to be kind of, I mean, it did its job. Why is this not... Oh, okay. Let's see. Can't I move this over? Oh, whatever. There, that's gonna have to do. Just so it's not covering it. Can mod... Now on PC, can mod faster? Thanks, man. Let me check my settings here. That's fine. Okay. Why doesn't it have more than that? Whatever. Whatever. Fix it later. I just didn't want my own stuff to cover chat, but I suppose it's unavoidable. Anyways, so it spits out a bunch of gibberish, which is perfect. It's supposed to, but I don't want things like this symbol and that symbol and whatever, because that's a silly pain in the butt. Let's see here. Python random letters only. Contains all lowercase letters, contains all uppercase letters. Contains both lowercase and uppercase letters. Digits. How to create a random string in Python. Import string and random module. Okay, so I guess we're doing that. We're gonna go import string. I think I already got import random. Yeah, I did. I do. It's well, it's up here. Get rid of that altogether. Okay. Decide the length of the string. Already know. For a loop or random choice to choose characters from source, run a for loop till the character blah 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 blah. Pick a single character. Yeah, I know. Use the string.ascii letters, string digits, and string punctuation constants together to repeat a random password. And repeat the 4 steps. I don't want to. It's not a. Well, it's not a password, but it looks like one. It's just literally a random bunch of letters and numbers. Let's see here. Okay, how about I do this? How about I go like this? Letters equals string dot ASCII letters. ASCII lowercase? Yeah, lowercase, because it's all lowercase. Join random choice letters. I'm gonna go dot join random choice first. So it picks from that array. And then for I in range I just go like this. Letters equals Random.rand int. And it's going to be a number from 1 to 7. And numbers equals 7 minus num letters. So random.choice letters for I in range num letters. So picked letters equals that. Numbers equals ow. String.digits. Oh, I see. String.digits. Picked numbers equals join random.choice, and then it'll be numbers. For I in range numbers. Complete phrase is basically equal to picked letter plus picked numbers. And I think it was, let's see here, if I go random.shuffle and go complete phrase, I think I want to go complete phrase is equal to then that'll do that. Then return the completed phrase, and this time it should spit out a random lowercase letter and number thing, basically. The odds of it repeating are low, but never zero, so I'm gonna have to deal with that in a second here. Oh, yeah, of course, there's a bunch of bugs. No kidding. Let's see. Line 278, string does not support item assignment. What did I do wrong? I'm being dumb somehow. All the funds, exactly! What's funny and ironic is that that's probably also a bot, but it's like a sad one. Like, no. People have to stop clicking on random links that they find. If people didn't click on random links, there would be no reason to waste your time making bots like that. So I blame dumb people who click on things without knowing what it is, in the same vein as people who eat things without knowing what it is, or drinking something without knowing what's in it. Like, it's just I was just sitting there on the street. It just seemed like it was fine. Just opening it up. It's okay. It's all right. It's still sealed. It's like, no, just think, please. Unless you're in the desert and you're dying, and you think you see a cup of water, you're gonna take a chance at being alive versus knowing that you're gonna be toasted, literally. But this isn't. This is all online chat and emails too. It's like half the reason anything gets hacked is because somebody let somebody go or do something or somewhere that they're not supposed to. So, let's see here. String object does not support item assignments. Item assignments. What is that even? If I just get rid of that for now. I don't know what that means. My brain is slow. Click all the nudes for all those younger people who haven't seen the real part. Exactly. It's like, no, here's a hint. Don't. Well, thank you for coming to my tech talk. Just don't. At least don't do it here. Okay, so good. Look at this. We got 7 digits and a number. I could just leave it that way, but thinking probably not. Yeah, look at this. The T878549. Don't click on links you don't know. Exactly. You wouldn't open a door randomly, not knowing where it leads, and just walk into it. Why would you click on a link? It's the digital equivalent of going somewhere where you don't know where it leads you. I'm not saying be afraid. I'm just saying be sensible. There's safe ways to do everything. sometimes the safe way of doing something is to not do it at all. To simply view from a distance, as watch as other people do terrible things to their PCs because they clicked on stuff without knowing what it is. Just don't. Just don't. Just don't. Just don't. It's fine, though. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Maybe because that's... I don't... Normally, when I do a function like this, it returns this, but it doesn't actually, like, shuffle and then save it. So, we're gonna see, I guess. I don't really use a lot of the random shuffle stuff. I've been doing... you son of a gun. Does not support item assignments. Oh, I see. It's not... You're not using... I'm not using the right functions, but I'm not using. Or pictures or anything really. Yeah! Even pictures now, because they're so huge, can hide other data inside them. There's this thing I learned about called the zip bomb. And it's a tiny file, and apparently it's programmed in such a way where it creates a copy of itself that creates a copy of itself, which all create copies of themselves and expand to, like, some huge, insane level and basically lock your computer up by just filling it with nothing. Like, no. Even if it seems safe. What are the odds it's going to happen to me? Well, as soon as you start thinking that, the odds go up significantly. Gee. The second you think nothing bad will happen to you because of the whatever. Yeah. Randomness shuffle. Shuffles the original list. Oh, list. I see. Yes, I see. I see. I see. So it has to be a list. So we're going to go to here. We're going to go list. Then we're going to go complete phrase is equal to, oops, join complete phrase. Bring it back to a word. Huzzah! Although I don't think it's actually shuffled it. Oh, wait, no. I don't think it's shuffled anything. There's still letters and then numbers. All letters, and then numbers. All letters and then numbers. Ugh. I mean, I guess it's not a huge deal, but it's on principle. I'm annoyed. Like, I want it to be shuffled. I made one of those, did it to VM, and just laughed. Well, I mean, it's different if it's, like, to learn and experiment, like, educational-wise. It's like, I don't know, it's like a virtual reality simulation of why you should or shouldn't do something, just to learn and see how it works. It's the best way to figure out how to counter it. I mean, outside of not encountering it at all, but, I mean, realistically speaking, there's a reason why I make copies of things off of the machine that I'm working on, so that if something terrible happens, I don't go and lose all my progress. I'll probably lose a lot, because that's just the way backups work, but I won't lose everything. Because the reality is, that stuff happens. There's no stopping it. Okay, so, it's... I turned this phrase into a list to shuffle it. I'm just gonna get rid of this. Maybe I screwed it up somehow. I don't think I did. I just want the numbers and letters to have different positions. Not just all letters and then numbers, and then all letters and then numbers. I'm doing all kinds of things here. Let's see here. And they usually run in the background, so you won't notice until your computer just stops. Yeah, exactly. Your computer will be working fine, and then suddenly it's like, once it reaches a point where it starts to break, it's pretty much already too late. Yeah, I'm planning on making a backup machine for the house. Also, get your own place. I can always backups here for you as well. Offsite backups, and they'll be offline too? Yeah. Like, basically, if I had, like, a website or whatever the heck it is and other stuff like that, like, it would be like, not only would I have a backup, but, like, once a month, I would, like, create logs and other backups that would go to another backup. so that if anything really bad happens, like say I get a bunch of, let's say I'm crazy successful and I'm selling, I don't know, something. Probably snake oil. I don't know. Hopefully not snake oil. Although if I did invent something awesome, I would call it snake oil, so that way I could say that I'm a legitimate snake oil salesman. But, anyways, that stupid silliness aside, I would need to keep track of all that stuff. Oh, and another thing is keeping sensitive information not in plain text, encoding stuff. Not a month, you'll have to do it like 2 times a week minimum. That's fine. Memory is cheap. Memory is cheap. Thankfully. No, but seriously though, how the hell do I not shuffle this? It's like, oh, just use the shuffle command. It's like, I'm doing that and it's not doing anything. Returns a new shuffled list. Shuffles the original list, returns... Oh, wait. So if I go random.sample... Wait, if I go like this... Oh, you know what? That'll probably do it. Right? Like I'm just being the dumb. If I just do this. Please work. I hate you. You only join. Present. You can only join in iterable. So what is it doing then? Returning a string? None. Oh, that's good. It just deletes it all. That's perfect. Yeah, now I want to play Hacknet. What was Hacknet? I was reading an article about that. Hacknet, created by some programmer as like a handful of programmers as like a passion project, and then it became like this super popular thing. It was in this article that talked about basically how games in general have gotten like wildly out of control. Like people think that games require millions of dollars, and hell, even customers have been trained to basically not, like they've gotten like the Grand Theft Autos and stuff now, and the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff and New West and whatever, Forbidden West I should say, where now they won't even try like small stuff, and it's like, no, it's like people don't want to play that stuff, but it's like, but that's the sustainable games. You shouldn't have to spend millions of dollars. It would basically went that you need millions of dollars because they don't pay their staff. They need millions of dollars to invest in an advertising budget to make sure that the #1 game out of like the 40 slots they've got on a shelf where people can physically see your game, one of those slots is your game, and they have to guarantee it because of the other millions of dollars that they've invested. Or whatever that is. So it's like a problem that perpetuates itself. Like they're competing in like such a tiny, narrow window that they have to spend so much money that doesn't have anything to do with the game's development. And I'm not saying the games don't cost money to develop, but they cost less to develop now than ever. Technically speaking, like if I paid myself what I get paid in the trades, then I could probably afford to pay myself and 3 other me's for like the next 5 years. That would be a ridiculous amount of money. for like what is it? For like $500,000 or some ridiculous thing. And it's like, you don't even need $500,000. You need one person getting paid a decent wage over the course of like a couple years. It's basically a networking simulator. They use these basic commands for hacking, but they don't give you the real commands. It's just a basic version. Yeah, so it's like a fantasy game, basically. It's a science fiction fantasy. It's science fiction because of the computers. But it's fantasy. You know, it's like you're not really a swordsman just because you're playing Mordhau or whatever. I like Mordhau. Though people could probably get into a million arguments about, like, oh, well, Mordhau's not realistic, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, I know it's not realistic. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. Okay, instead of shuffle, it just shuffles the original list. We're going to go sample. I don't know. It's like, I'll just follow this instruction, and I do, and then nothing changes. Or a bug will happen. Sample missing one requirement, positional argument, K. What? What do you mean, K? Population sequence. K is... Oh, I see the number. Oh, I see. It's looking for, like, the number of things to return from that. Okay. Well, then, I guess I'll put that, and then I'll put... I don't want to do that, because then it might take multiples of the same one. What if I just do this? Oops. Letters... No. Letters plus numbers? That worked. That would be a lot easier. Then I can get rid of all that other stuff. I mean, it worked. It does things, but it's way too fast-paced for the real world? Yeah. Wait. Basic networking... It's just a basic version without options. It does do things, but it does way too fast. You think it's way too fast? I figured it would be slower compared to the real world. This works. I'm just going to delete all that other stuff and, like, yay! Now I've got a function that I'll use to randomly generate words and stuff. Here we go. A bunch of letters and a number. We got... Number, letter, number. Ah, perfect. And it's all lowercase. Perfect. Good enough. The output for the game. No way. Okay, we're going to delete this. Oops. Letters and numbers. Okay, we'll keep that, obviously. Unless you know exactly where to look every single time. Real-world information would have you looking for takes time. Oh, I see. So you're saying it's not just simply a matter of, downloading the GUI to their Wi-Fi and uploading the ASCII to the hash point or whatever gibberish they come up with. You're saying it's not? You're saying that stuff's not real, Berserk? You're saying they made it up? Who makes that up? I thought that was real. Hollywood's real. The Equifax hack was like a month-long thing? Oh. It just sounds like any other illegal, illicit thing. Where criminals have to, like, stake a place and then carefully work around... Yeah. But still, most of the... As somebody who used to work in security, the number one thing that we always have to watch out for is shady people collecting information. Though the easiest way to hack anything is to literally just get the password from the person who you're taking it from, rather than stealing it from the system. Usually people either don't have very good passwords, or they write them down somewhere, or they make them something dumb like a birthday. It's like, stop making it a birthday. Oh, but it's easy to remember. It's like, yes, and it's also information that is easily found. Like, it's so easy to find that information, to the point where when I go and sign up for websites, I literally put in fake birthdays, just so that, I mean, I don't use my birthday as a password because that's stupid, but I will put in fake birthdays just because of stuff like that. It's like, no, you don't get to know what my birthday is. I'm not going to have you suss anything about me. You can go to wherever. Well, my network, I scanned mine with just checking ports and and that took like 4 days, just due to how many machines I have running. Ah, I see. And basically what you're saying is that in that time, A sysadmin is supposed to be able to be like, hey, what are all these queries happening? Who's poking and prodding? I'm assuming that's what it is, right? Like, because everything has to be recorded, right? Like, it's like the information that's being asked information has to, like, be aware that it is being asked in order to respond in any way, right? Okay. So, create fake missions. So, fake mission equals... I did the loud way, too? Yeah. Is that faster? I don't know. Oops. Fake mission name equals fake mission name. Fake mission name. Yeah, there are ways being stealth, but why do that on my own? Yeah, exactly. What's the point? You're just like playing around and doing like coding stuff. So we have a name. What other things would a mission have? Big mission signed members. It's gonna be, I don't know. Fake mission signed members. Loud way means network literally lights up. I could see all the network traffic. Oh, I see. It's kind of like when somebody wants to like look through your camera on your webcam and they can do it in a way where it doesn't turn the light on. Like the light turning on is more of a courtesy that technically is optional. Fake mission name, fake mission members. We're gonna go with, I don't know, 4. No, not 4. Let's see, assigned number. So you're 4 member in, yeah, exactly, world. I have tape on my cameras now when I'm not using them. But it's green, so technically it's a green screen. So if I put tape over the camera, you don't even see a gray box on the OBS anymore. It's pretty funny, I thought. You can let you turn it on without any notice. That's why you are always unplug? Yeah. I suppose I would unplug if, like, the plug was easy. Although I am annoyed that webcams have, like, microphones built into them. So I should probably unplug it anyways. He says, talking into a microphone. That probably also should be unplugged. You know what would be really nice? If Windows wasn't stupid every time you unplug something, it didn't be like, oh no, your microphone got unplugged. And instead of going like, well, that microphone won't work, it'll be like, I gotta find a replacement microphone. And it's like, no, you don't have to find a replacement microphone. Just leave it not working. Just have it not do anything. Have it go, hey, the microphone I'm trying to use doesn't work, so don't send a signal. Oh, my switch, yeah. If I have physical switches, yeah. But, again, I'm broke, so. 4 member in, range, signed number. Let's see here. Oof. We're gonna go... Let's see here. How am I going to refer to them? I almost always use dictionaries. Party. What's going on? Hero party. Does your mic interface not have a switch? It has a dial, but it doesn't have a switch. But it's a cheap one, so that's probably why. Or a mute button? There's no button on here for mute. There's just a dial, yeah. Because you can legit turn the dial. Yeah, I would prefer a mute button just so it doesn't send anything. That would be the best. Rather than going to 0 and then having something like touch the button and twist it or whatever. There's a lot of stuff on my desk. Just turn it all the way in for no input. Yeah, exactly. It's a hero party, blah, blah, blah. 4 member in yada, yada. we go. Chosen hero is equal to world dot. No, we're gonna go random dot choice world dot players. And I believe the choice is that gonna return a string? I want it to return the whole object. Dictionary, I should say, equals make mission assigned members for just turn it all the way down for input because there's no way a person can get your PC and turn up a dial on physical hardware. It's analog. Yeah, it's not digital. It's analog. Let's see here. Just trying to be lazy, but it won't let me. Still, huh? The keys object does not support indexing. Oh, right. Yeah, right. Just want to be. It's just temporary. It's not even real. It's keys, then list, then choice. This. Creating a fake list of missions to work with. People saying analog is old dated, what do they know? Well, I know somebody who basically is like, if it's old, throw it out. It's like, okay, look, certain things are no good when they're older. Like, I want to get rid of this couch that I have. I'm pretty sure someone will give me something for it, but then she's like, no one will give you anything for it. It's old. I'm like, why would anyone buy it if it was new? Like, I'm not asking for, like, hundreds of dollars. I want, like enough money to justify the effort of dragging this thing outside. You know? Not just give it away for free, and then have them take it away, and then I get nothing for it. Like, I should get, like, I don't know, a little bit of gas money? That would be nice. 20 bucks? Most people can afford 20 bucks. Oh, it'll take forever to sell it at 20 bucks. Well, then I'll give it away for free then. But, like, there's no point in just giving it away because it's old. Yeah, here's a couch for 50 bucks. Exactly. In fact, I would probably charge for 50 because I know they would bring me down to 20. Because otherwise, if I go 20, they'll be like, can we just take it for free? Can we just have it for, like, free? Like, no. That's not what the freaking thing is. I want some gas money, damn it. Okay, so it did do the thing with the heroes and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, this is appropriate. This is good. Good. Okay, I don't need to speak that anymore. But they're like, no. And then there's like a tape player. And I'm like, okay, look. I know tape players aren't popular. But they're like, no, I gotta throw this thing out. Because it's old. No one plays with tapes anymore. I'm like, no, you don't understand. People still listen to tapes. And the people who listen to tapes can't buy it from stores. So you're not gonna get $1 million for it. But that's like, you know, back when I was buying PlayStation 1 games and stuff like that, people would come into the store and be like, why are people buying these old games for, like, the same price as a new game? And it's like, because you can't buy them anywhere else. If you want to buy this game for $30, which is nothing, but their logic in their head was, it's old, therefore, it should be worth, like, $1 or something. And it's like, no, that's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. Like, this isn't like a plate or something where you can have, where there are still plates. It's just, you know, you've got older plates versus newer plates. Like, the couch isn't going to be worth nearly as much as a new couch, obviously. But it's like, you can't be like, oh, it's old, so it's worthless. And it's like, no. If I was looking around for something and I needed something, I'm not going to look for a tape player for all my old tapes in a store. That doesn't exist. I would look for it online. The old games are good. Now everyone just patches things and are lazy to make billions. Look at GTA 5's been 3 generations. Exactly. So the problem with Grand Theft Auto is that because... Okay, look. I haven't worked at Rockstar, but I know people who did work there, like, years ago. I don't know if it's the same anymore, because it's been that long. But basically, it was like, even the interview process, they're like, this is a 120-hour work week, right? One guy was like, nope, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing 120 hours. How do you fit that in a work week? You basically live at the studio at that point. 16 hours a day. What is that? 16 hours a day. Assuming you are allowed to sleep. Nope, you're not allowed to sleep 8 hours. You're allowed to sleep, well, let's see, 8. You're allowed to sleep maybe 6.5 to 7 a day, as long as you literally have no travel time to and from work, and you live at work. And the guy was like, nope. Basically, an update for a few graphics, you sell for $50. I watched an analysis video on the GTA 5 specifically, and they're basically like, the reason why it makes so much money, the reason why they haven't made a new Grand Theft Auto game, is because not only is it modular, the open world being as huge as it is, but it's the shark cards. They make so much money off of those shark cards to get fake millions of dollars, and I'm going to be honest, that's not anything new. I used to work for a company that made Facebook gambling games, not real money, so that way it's not, legally it's not gambling, because you get nothing out of it. But despite the fact that you get nothing out of it, people still wanted to be able to gamble millions of fake dollars to get millions of more fake dollars. Billions, trillions even. I had to, learn programming to get a program to learn how to, display something that had so many digits, because he wanted to show all of the digits, to display so many digits to handle all that math, because it couldn't handle it normally, because the numbers were so huge. And that was his whole thing, was cashing in on that person's need to see 79 quintillion 338 trillion 255 billion 731 million 633,231 dollars of fake money in their non-existent bank account. He had a high scoreboard. Get this, he had a high scoreboard. The guy that I worked for, and he designed this, where the person who reached it was the person who spent the most money. Not who won the most, not the person who got the most success, not the person who did the best. Literally a board that's about how much money you have burned, destroyed out of your own account. And you got put on a board for that. And people were competing on it to outdo each other and how much money they could throw away. I hated working for that place. It was like I worked for, to do game design and make game stuff, and then I've got this guy who's basically, as far as I'm concerned, a digital cancer upon the game industry world. And because of him, I couldn't find work anywhere, because they would look at the company that I worked for, see who it is, and they'd just probably assume that I'm like him, and it's like, no! He was the only one who paid me money! I worked for him because he gave me cash up front. Which is bad, but I was literally down to bread and water. I had nothing left. Yeah, speed run of money burning. Yeah, it was this is stupid. You shouldn't be, rewarding this wasteful behavior. Yeah, you want players to use their money, but the problem is he introduced so many different ways to inflate the cash you had without any sense of longevity. There's a certain company just release the same thing over and over again every year? Yeah. You're not creating anything new. You want something fresh, you want something new, well, you know what? Realistically speaking, after a certain point, the only way to make anything new is literally make a different game. Make a different game that works differently. How many different ways can you have Call of Duty? And you can defend yourself on like what you believe and all the other nonsense, but like realistically speaking, until you get, until you, I guess until you run out of freaking ideas about how to do the same thing over and over again, you can keep making them. Hero party. Let's see, your chosen hero name is chosen hero. But it's like, they're not pushing any creative boundaries. It's about this corporate sense of being risk averse. Not only can they not take risks because they don't want to lose money, but if they lose money, I think they can get sued. And I think if they lose too much money, they can get fired, but they still have their golden parachutes, even if they get canned. But then the company dies and they don't get a free ride anymore. So why make anything new that's awesome when you could make the same thing that people are totally willing to buy? And it's not entirely their fault. If somebody is going to buy the same thing over and over again, FIFA, sports titles and things like that, then, number one, it's their prerogative. That's what they want to spend their money on, so, go ahead. But number two, don't expect anything out of people who can get away with doing basically nothing. As a freaking tester for FIFA, all I did was the same thing over and over again because all they wanted to do was make sure there weren't any bugs in the code that, as far as I'm concerned, they copy and pasted from other games. We had, what was it recursion testing or something like that, where I'd play old builds of older versions certain ways to see if bugs would show up. And I swear it's because they're literally taking functions and stuff from that game, copying and pasting into the new version, integrating it somehow, and then calling it new. It's like, oh, there's this game. Well, this game's more arcadey, and this game's got this, and blah, blah, blah. And then don't even get me started on FIFA Ultimate Team, which is basically gambling. It's gambling. You just don't get any money back. But it's gambling. But yes. Anyways, fake assigned members. Solo mission's got a name. It's got assigned members. It's going to have funding. I gotta think about how I'm going to do funding, though. Oh, the bills, yeah. I know. Think about how I do funding. Because funding is like money. And the thing about funding is there's going to be different people on each mission. I hated having to work in the clean rooms where we had to test FIFA Ultimate Team. Yeah. That job was so boring. And I got paid minimum wage anyways. They're like, wow, we want you on our I don't know what team it was for. It was for scripting or something like that. I'm just like, nope, I'll take the layoff. I couldn't imagine working there. Even if I could do it at the time, I would probably not have lasted because of my limited coding experience. Even though it probably would have taught me something, but at the same time, it would have been like, it would have sucked the life right out of me. Make sure this code works. Make sure this code works. And it's like, you're not actually writing code. Only certain people write code. And only certain people above them are allowed to decide what code those writers write. And this, again, that's the way it has to be, because you've got millions of dollars at stake, and you can't have an independent voice messing up what is an organized effort. Which, to me, just tells me that it's utterly pointless to be part of it. Unless you need the money, but hey, there's more than one way to make cash. Remember when they handed out the fake credit card stuff to get packs and stuff, and the people brought in from the street started to use the cards. I just said, you know how they track IPs and tell Sony or Microsoft about stolen stuff, and they ban the console instead of the IP? Yeah. No, that's dumb. Stealing information. It's like, what? So you can, get fake stuff from your game or whatever? But it's like, come on, man, it's a number. How do they, How did they know they logged that stuff? There's like it gets referenced, but people are stupid. What was stupid is that they didn't even bother. What's the term I'm looking for? They didn't bother. There's a word I'm looking for. It's where you interview somebody to make sure that they're not gonna be a thieving guy or a girl or whoever. Where you like, check out who they are. I got an interview when I got in. Nobody else apparently did. They just literally gave them, they just like, you apply for the job, and hey, guess what? You show up, you get it. And that's why we ended up with so many diverse people, because they just needed bodies. They didn't care who they were. Which is awful. That's why you ended up with a lot of people who just screwed around and didn't do what they were supposed to. They created more problems than they actually solved, but when you got a company that makes more money than they lose, it's impossible to lose. So funding is like a raw number, but the problem with funding is you're going to have different funders, and they're going to be credit, and there's going to be gifted amounts, and then there's going to be, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of saying funding, we're going to go signed members, we're going to go, signed managers. Oops. Let's see here. It's essentially fake money to buy real stuff, and it's used only for testing, but it has to work on lives. Yeah, exactly. So it's only given to devs and such tests, but the standard public is like, how do I get free? Have fun buying a new console, or consoles they would hit every machine in the house. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. Your kid gets a job at EA, and next thing you know, you're not allowed to play your FIFA Ultimate Team because the accounts associated with that IP have all been suspended indefinitely. That sounds awful, but I mean, to be fair, don't steal from companies. Don't think you're pulling a fast one. It's like people out there who, like, don't realize basic things like, if you work for a company and you insert a USB drive into the machine, at least on a Windows machine, security gets a notification that a new device has been added. And then security has to come down to where it was plugged in. Can they get told where it is to investigate to see who's doing what and why? And you're probably going to get fired. Unless you are someone stupidly important and you just needed to use a PC and you've got, like, actual clearance for that. So your Xbox or PlayStation won't be usable until the year 9999. Exactly. So it's basically worthless. Oh yeah, I love that. Oh, getting people doing dumb things? That's funny. Okay, so assigned managers. So basically under here is going to be... So, fake mission assigned members is essentially giving a... Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't return Hero Party. So it gives it a dictionary, which has the members in it. And in here, it would be return a dictionary of managers where the gifted amounts, the credit, and whatever can be tracked individually, and then if I want to get the total amount, I can just loop through that and then add it all together so that it all stays separate. Let's see here, go fake funding managers, and we're gonna go with let's give each one 3. No, let's give each one like 5. Just because it's a test. We're building a game in a game studio, and they're building at home. You tell them that they write in their notebook, it's the property of the company. Oh my god. If they write it in their notebook, it's the property of the company. See, that's the problem that I'm going to have with remote working and stuff. If I end up at a job that's doing remote work, I heard that some companies want you to install a program that can destroy your system because of how hard it frickin' searches it. Another is that even when you're not at work, it will monitor everything you do on your computer, which is not cool. And another, it's like, Like, it's like, I get you have to have a security in place, but at the same time, I don't want my own code that I work on my own time to belong to a company because I, like, worked for them for, like, 3 months. Right? And then prove in court that it belongs to me. Then they try to argue, and you bring up their NDA and such unsigned, and then you literally point to the part that says anything written, said, or coded is in the property of the company. Remote work will usually be on a system they give you. They'd better freaking be. I'm not working on their stuff using my system. This is my private domain, this code stuff. It's not, mind-blowingly amazing, but it is mine. Which is the point. It's mine. It's the one thing that I have that's mine. Oh, right, it's, signed number. Ending managers. So I looked up a bunch of stuff. One job that somebody recommended was like this logistics company where you manage information to like track shipping containers across the world. I don't really know what that entails. Yeah, they would provide you a machine. Yeah, they should. Little laptop or whatever. That would make things easier. Okay, let's see here. In signed number. Let's see here. And I don't want their whole... I don't need their... I just need their name, because I don't need their details. So it's literally just going to be chosen manager. And they don't have to be a manager at this point, since it's just random. World.players. No, it's just going to be literally random choice list world.players. It's just going to be the name. All the people I know working remote here have machines that are given. Yeah, my buddies all have laptops that were given to them. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I need to figure that out. And just work on that. Use your internet, but that's why I have unlimited. Well, I mean, that's fine. It's like me using gas to get to and from my job site. Like, the cost is negligible. If they were like, if I had to like download like tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff all the time, I'd be like, hey, you guys need to fork over some money to pay for this extra bandwidth. I've only got so much, and I'm not going to use all of it just for you. Like, I'm not, I don't think that's going to be a case, though. I think it's very little. Most of the data that I need would probably be on the laptop, and then it would just simply be a matter of working away and doing what they want you to do, whatever the hell that is. Chosen manager, that's the name. Then it's going to be, so returning a dictionary of what essentially is dictionary. So we're going to go... New manager equals a dictionary. Oh, no, dictionary. New manager. No, funding managers is the group of them. New manager is the new object. New manager name is equal to that. Oops. New. Sure. Well, you make sure you get unlimited data. It usually adds like $30 to the monthly cost. Yeah, I suppose. Let's see here. We're gonna go... What was it all? Invest, credit, and gift. Invest equals rand int. It's gonna be anywhere from 1 to 200, and then It's going to be equal to up to twice of what they... So here equals random dot rand int up to twice of whatever they up to twice. So it's going to be new manager invests. It's the bottom, and then new manager invest is 2 up to twice. So then that will randomize the amount of investment, which always is 1, and credit, which could be... Actually, it should be not equal to. It should be like... It should start at 0. Because it might be 0 sometimes. What am I doing? 0. Or twice of up to twice whatever they invest, which will probably be something instead of nothing. New manager gift. If they decide to gift an amount. Which will be... Yeah, the internet I have is unlimited internet. It would have to be. You're doing a lot of stuff on the internet. It would be crazy to not do that. And then next thing you know, you're freaking getting bottlenecked. Name, invest, credit, gift. And that's each... So under assigned managers is going to be a dictionary. And it will be a dictionary where the keys will be the names of the managers, which will be another dictionary to list specifically the amount of money that they invest as personal, or invest credit, or gift. Funding managers. It's going to be new manager name, which will name their key, and then new manager. There we go.